Live from the RSV Media Center in Belize City, this is Love TV's Evening News for today, Thursday, August 15. There is a lot to tell you about on the newscast tonight, so let's begin with a check of the stories that are making headlines today. National Trade Union Congress of Belize says it supports restructuring of Public Accounts Committee. Villagers meet with officials to discuss delay in rehabilitation works on the Progresso Road and Sartaneja Village without potable water for several months now. Details of these stories and more are coming up on the newscast tonight, but first we step aside for a word from our sponsors.
Let's go. We're sure you're ready? Let's go. 8, 9, 10. Damn, she at 10. Bye. How to get over here for school, you like sick? Boy, do I feel like come? No right now, man. No right now. Bye, you soft, dog. You know what? I'll put in a lead word for you. Go back.
Just let it shine through. Just let your soul, baby.
Bye. I'll check your lid off. I'll leave it.
You get punk, Millie boy. But on the other hand, with the best local, international, and tax rates in the country, at least Smart always got your back. Yeah.
Smart, bringing people together.
We at the Belize Brewing Company have responded to your feedback, and our brewmaster has adjusted the recipe for your summer seasonal beer, Verano. The name is the same, the logo is the same, but the flavor profile is better, bolder, and has more citrus with a hint of spice. Introducing the new taste of Verano. Like we said, say hello to summer.
There are reports at this moment that there is a road traffic accident.
Ceremony to mark the completion of a basket weaving and wood carving.
The neighborhood was rocked about with about 4 or 5 gunshots.
Keep up with what's happening around Belize. Love News. Reliable, credible, and balanced. If you have news to share, contact Marian Ali at 624-5140, Natalie Novello at 663-9915, Avadia Sosa at 630-1289, or our correspondents in Orange Walk, Belmopan, San Ignacio, Dangriga, and Punta Gorda. We can also be reached at lovenewsbz@yahoo.com, telephone number 203-2281 or 203-0528, fax 203-0529. Catch the news first on Love.
Good evening. With the midweek edition of Love TV's Evening News, I am Renee Trujillo. Villagers of Sartaneja Village have been without potable water for several months. Reporter Arturo Cantun and cameraman Brian Castillo visited the village yesterday, and they have the story.
It has been over 6 months that no water has been running through the pipes of the Sartaneja water system. We spoke with Vice Chairman of Sartaneja, Johasin Perez.
Well, the system and the water system did not work about 6 months ago, right? No got water, the village no got water up to now, right? Then we got the rural development, then send we the sieve, then sieve nos tell we that in 6 weeks we got water. No?
The situation was brought to national attention by Area Representative for Corozal Southeast, Florencio Marin Jr., during last week's session of the House of Representatives. The new village council tells us they understand that it's the reverse osmosis pump that got damaged. Secretary of the village council, Darnell Cruz, tells us more.
And well, up to what I know, it is the actually the parts that do the osmosis, no, the reverse osmosis part is the one that went bad. I understand that the pump can still pump water, but it is not purified. So we need that that part. And up to what I know, the plant itself is no longer serviceable. So we need a new one. It's a new one that will be coming.
Cruz said the Social Investment Fund, SIF, has promised to help them with a new reverse osmosis pump.
There was a delay in the actually the delivering of the water system because of first the down payment. The first down payment was not done on time, and after it was done and the machine, the actual RO plant was ready. Another problem was that they sent a sample from our water plant, and it was not that it would not have worked well with the plant. The new one that was done.
So there's some mix-up there.
Yeah, so they had to modify the whole thing again, and that is what is causing this delay right now. What Mr. Ivor Mendez told us was that, well, more than likely by this coming month, probably by the end of September or the first week of October, the water is supposed to be functional.
In the meantime, over 3,000 residents of Sarteneja that depended on the water system have been looking for other means of potable water for their daily use. Some use wells, and those who can afford a gallon of purified water buy it from a local provider. But the whole situation is taking a toll on owners of restaurants and small hotels in the village. Apolonio Ramirez is a small restaurant owner.
I suffer here with my family, together with my family. I have to bag water every day, across the neighborhood barrel, get some water from there. I don't have well. But I think about 1/3 of people at Sarteneja have well. Probably they know the feel why they feel. So then they don't speak out. But I'm not accustomed to that. I know that we got a system. That system is supposed to be workable, but the people in charge, they don't care. So I just put it in record that somebody put an effort to make we try get some water at Sarteneja.
Tell us about the business that you have in the center of Sarteneja.
Yeah, well, likewise, the same thing. I don't have no well. I need water, and I borrow water, I buy water, and it costs me more. And it affects me. I don't know if they wash the dishes properly because I just get some more, little water. I can't go big water everywhere to the people.
There is also health concern as a result of the water situation, and some residents told us that there are those who have wells close to latrines, and some children have been developing skin rashes because they use the water to bathe. Darnell Cruz is also an educator at the village school and told us that last semester, the lack of potable water presented a challenge to the teachers.
I can talk on behalf of the school because we had the water there. And not being able to flush the sewage system with that kind of water, we had to use some teachers to pump water from the well into the system, the school system, and that kept us behind a lot. We had to take time out of well, we could say the children, because we're supposed to be teaching at that time, and some teachers had to go out and pump water. This is the time when the problems started within the classes. Children started doing mischievous things and those things in the absence of a teacher.
With all fingers crossed, the reverse osmosis pump should be installed within the next 5 weeks, and until then, residents of Sarteneja just need to wait a little longer. Cruz hopes that the situation does not reoccur.
To my personal view, I would say that in order for this to not to continue happening, because as many plants as we put in, the reverse osmosis plants, the same thing will happen again.
Lack of maintenance?
Well, I could say that probably we need persons who are really capable of doing the job. Not really just appoint anybody, but train somebody to be suitable of keeping this.
Maintain it, no?
Maintain it, yes. What I like about what SIF is doing is that they will do some capacity and building trainings with these people that, they're saying about 6 or 7 people from the community for them to be able to manage this new and reverse osmosis system. Or else probably the same thing will happen that happened to this.
Reporting for Love News from Orange Walk, I'm Arturo Cantun.
The National Trade Union Congress of Belize today announced that it strongly supports the restructuring of the Public Accounts Committee, PAC, to include the social partners, the union representative, the business community's representative, and the church's representatives from the Senate. According to the General Secretary of the NTUCB, Rebecca Suazo, the restructuring of the PAC is an opportunity for government to prove that they are serious about reform.
The NTUCB saw it fit to support the restructuring of the PAC, the Public Accounts Committee, so that the majority of Belizean people can be represented, not only people from the top, so that we, the social partners on the ground, will be able to champion the cause of the majority of the Belizean people. It would provide a unique opportunity to enhance participatory democracy, because having social partners and other members of community besides the opposition and the ruling political party will better able to guide the process, better able to form participatory democracy, so that the mass majority of the Belizean people will be properly represented, not only at particular levels, but at all levels, not only one level, from top to bottom, grassroots, in relation to taking care of our Belizean community today, and for our children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren in the future, so that our resources are properly protected and accounted for. This government came into office on a platform for reform, but sadly they have not done enough. Therefore, the restructuring of the Public Accounts Committee is an opportunity for them to prove that they are serious about reform. Though they did not raise the motion in the House, we believe that the government should take charge and ensure the restructuring of the Public Accounts Committee as proposed. We need a Public Accounts Committee that will take the Auditor General's report and bring wrongdoers to account. On a separate note, the General Counsel of the NTUCB denounces in the strongest possible terms the behavior and utterances of elected officials in the House. We demand professionalism and greater decorum when dealing with the public business in the House of Representatives.
The NTUCB also sent out a press release regarding the indefinite suspension of the Christian Workers Union. Suazo says that the CWU was suspended from its fold because it's not complying with NTUCB's constitution.
The Christian Workers Union have not been participating in NTUCB activities as required by the constitution of the NTUCB, as well as for non-payment of affiliation fees. We have tried in prior years to get the CWU to the table, and so far they have not been compliant prior to 2 days ago, where now they are willing to come to the fore and discuss whatever infractions that they have. The way how this situation is at the moment, those people that they're calling the resignation for, they are the face of CWU at this time. So until they have an AGM or replace those people, then who will we be able to talk to in regards to moving CWU forward? So at this moment, those are the two people that are representing the CWU that are the face of CWU. So until an AGM has taken place or they have other representation, then I guess whoever the face of CWU is will be the face that we will be negotiating with and trying to get back into the fold. But at this moment, the way how things are, we're trying to get things back to how it used to be with the CWU. That is an internal matter that they will need to work out at CWU. The NTUCB can only do so much. And what we can do is to engage CWU members and executives as well to be able to work out whatever kinks they have so that we can move forward and move CWU forward.
The Christian Workers Union has called for a meeting with the NTUCB and has pledged to attend meetings and pay affiliation fees effective September of this year. The Memorandum of Understanding for the Harvest Key project in southern Belize has been signed, as we reported on Wednesday, and its master plan underwent a few changes along the way. But leader of government business, Senator Godwin Hulse, assured us that the Norwegian cruise line will be required to meet a list of prerequisites and that the Belize City Port will not be affected by the expansion of cruise tourism now in southern Belize.
It'll be a natural beach island with lagoons on the interior side. You'll see number 5 there's an internal lagoons. We're going to have paddle boarding and kayaking, and it's going to create a series of waterways. We're going to build up the beaches in dunes of white sand. The village will sit on a marina. The marina will allow guests to travel from the island to the mainland.
Scheduled visits in the north at the existing thing, those shall not be diverted. It's as simple as that. So whatever was scheduled there, we are maintain. And then you go to the south, transfer them. And so all this fear that everything that was happening in Belize City will stop is not true. And that communities it supports the National Tourism Master Plan in reaching its objectives of 1.5 million cruise passengers by 2030, and communities and businesses to benefit and be impacted. So the technical team worked around that. The cabinet was satisfied. It's socially acceptable. Of course, you can't please everybody, so I'm not here to say that everybody is going to say hurrah, hurrah, hip, hip, but there are a lot of people who will. Economically acceptable, the analysis showed that it would bring revenue to government and foreign exchange and economic benefits to Belize. Legally doable, absolutely. The concession does not infringe on existing concessions in Belize City. The company will abide by all necessary environmental compliance rules. The company will abide by the labor laws of Belize. The company will abide under respective license necessary granted by the Port Authority. The company will apply for incentives under the Fiscal Incentive Act. The company will abide by all necessary statutory boarding, quarantine, immigration, and vessel requirements as stipulated by the Port Authority. The company will be licensed under the Hotels and Tourism Accommodating Act, and the company will undergo US dollar exchange under the Exchange Control Act. So it's legally doable. No hidden secrets here and nothing to hide.
Hugh Darley, the project's director, gave an overview of the layout.
It'll be a natural beach island with lagoons on the interior side. You'll see number 5 there's an internal lagoons. We're going to have paddle boarding and kayaking, and it's going to create a series of waterways. We're going to build up the beaches in dunes of white sand. The village will sit on a marina. The marina will allow guests to travel from the island to the mainland to go on their other excursions. It'll also be the base for people going snorkeling, scuba diving, and things like glass-bottom boats and seeing the reefs and exploring the waterways. That project there looks like what we called Gilligan's Island. It's just an island. And we'll show you a little bit about the buildings and how we're going to construct those also for limited footprint. So this isn't Belize City. This is an island, and it's going to be an eco park in relation to how we're going to actually develop it. Very small development background and footprint. That's the rendering. The rendering shows the ship there on the right-hand side. You'll see that you'll actually walk off the ship onto a floating platform that's about 400 feet long. Then you'll walk onto the island. You'll start walking towards the northwest. You'll come to the village with the marina in the foreground. The eastern side of the island plays very well to the beach side. So there'll be white sand beaches that run all the way up to the point to the north. The inland waterway, we're just going to work with the existing mangroves that are there, and there's currently 16 acres already dredged on the inside of the island. We're going to create that into the lagoon. So we'll have an internal marina and a lagoon that will stretch the length of the island. So we've got a lot of interior waterways, like you would have on the mainland, where you can do kayaking and paddle boarding and other water sports in the lagoon side. Context. What is the architecture going to look like? It's going to look like the architecture of Central America. Everything's going to be on raised walkways and platforms. Very little footprint's going to actually touch the sand. Everything is going to be raised platforms and walks that walk out over the water, walk inland, and walk through the landscapes. We can protect the mangroves that are left after the dredge project that's in place. So as you see on here, these will be walkways like you'd see in an eco park. The buildings and structures are all a prefab. We'll actually put post and beams in place and then come in with the deck and then erect the buildings on top. So a lot of them will be prefabricated construction. And a lot, we hope, are coming from Belize that are being manufactured, built by local craftsmen, artisans, and being put back in that Garifuna style.
Director of the Belize Tourism Board, Laura Esquivel Frampton, says that a number of communities in the south will have new opportunities, and she outlined how the project will evolve.
There's all the Maya villages in the area, Placencia can benefit Independence, St. Bite, San Juan, Red Bank, Georgetown, Maya Mopan, San Roman, Santa Rosa, Santa Cruz, Maya Center, Silk Grass, Hopkins, City River, Dangriga, Bella Vista, Trio, Bladen, Medina Bank, Monkey River, Punta Negra, Golden Stream, Indian Creek, and Big Falls. And we talk on this with some authority. Our team has actually been out, and we actually went in a car and tracked and saw how long it would take to get to these locations to make sure that they would be in line with a 6 to 8 hour visit here in port, and all of these are distinct possibilities. So what we're saying is we are bringing economic opportunities to all of these villages. And of course, we had already listed all the businesses that are that can come about. I notice here that we have the cacao growers. There's banana farms tours. Of course, we know we also have orange fields there. So all the possibilities are there. I think Marie Sharps also already does a tour of her site. So all of these things can be incorporated. So what do we have to do now? Well, we have to be prepared. And we have about 24 months to get prepared for this project. And that requires that we will have the suitable infrastructure in place. We will have our capacity limits in place, and in fact, we will be working along with the National Institute of Culture and History to ensure that we have those capacity limits in place, at least for the archaeological sites and with the other park managers for their sites. Product development and asset management must be in place, and we also know that any improvement we do to the sites, to the roads, to the infrastructure will also benefit the overnight tourism product. And like we said before, there will be stakeholders meetings where we will be addressing any concerns. And so we will be giving people those one-on-one opportunities to discuss with us and the other line agencies involved on how they can truly benefit from this project.
Frampton also argues against the belief that cruise tourism affects overnight tourism.
There's no study that has been produced, there's no evidence that has been produced that says that cruise tourism negatively impacts overnight tourism. In fact, our numbers, as we continue to have high growth in the cruise tourism industry right now coming in Belize City, we see our numbers for overnight growing exponentially. Last year alone, the number was 10% over the previous years in overnight. And this year, we're already at 9% over last year's numbers. And the numbers just keep growing. So there's no correlation between growth in cruise tourism and lack thereof in overnight. We will put monitoring measures in place. We will establish carrying capacities, and we will have management strategies in place.
Norwegian Cruise Line has purchased roughly 75 acres in southern Belize for the project, which it describes as an eco-friendly cruise destination. Harvest Key comprises 2 adjoining islands in Stan Creek and Toledo districts. Back in the 1970s, the Rotary Club of Belize initiated what is called the Gift of Life Belize, a project created to provide life-saving heart surgery for children. Gift of Life Belize works with its partners to identify patients and doctors who are willing to accept the cases. The project facilitates the travel, including passports, visas, and airfare, for patients to travel to the United States for the surgery. Over 100 patients are seen each year at these clinics. At least 14 children travel abroad within a year to undergo the necessary procedures to correct their life-threatening cardiac conditions. This year, the clinic starts in southern Belize, and member of the Rotary Club of Belize and chair of the Gift of Life project, Jamela Vasquez, shared more details of the project.
Our first clinic will be in Dangriga, second in Belize City at KHMH, but that's for the out district, the northern districts, and the surrounding areas. And we will have on Sunday, we'll have the Belize district and the Belize City area.
The services that's going to be offered?
We'll have, usually when they come in, they do follow-ups, and Gift of Life means We send the kids up there who have heart problems, and they come in, they have follow-ups, and then the new ones that are discovered, well, then treatment is given, and if it's necessary for them to be sent away, then we all make arrangements to send them away.
How does it work for someone to be part of the whole program?
What the doctors do here, especially with the follow-ups, this is where they're very, very good. For example, there is a patient that comes in and there is a problem. Sometimes it can be a really serious problem. So what the doctor does, along with their local doctor, they talk, the local doctor along with the visiting doctor will have a conversation, and then that is explained to the parent as simply as possible. You know, they will make it very simple so the parent will know what the problem is. When that happens, then we'll say, okay, now this child needs to go. This is urgent. So then that is handed over. This is where the committee comes in. What we do is then, as soon as we have a hospital that will take them on, things get into, then the process begins.
What are some of the cases that you've seen so far with children?
Common cases, like you would say, common terminology, it would be the hole in the heart, or, you know, how would I say, instead of the certain arteries being on the left and the heart left and the right. So they're most of the times it would be, oh, my child has, I think the doctor said there's a hole in the heart, or they can't breathe, or something like that.
Once again, the clinic begins tomorrow at the Southern Regional Hospital in Dangriga at 9 a.m. On Saturday, August 17, the clinic will then be held at the Carl Hishton Memorial Hospital for the Corozal, Orange Walk, and Cayo District patients starting at 8 a.m. And on Sunday, August 18, the clinic will be held at the KHMH for Belize District patients starting at 8 a.m. A registration fee of $10 is being charged for the use of the KHMH facility. Pre-registration can be done at the KHMH or by calling the BERT office at 223-3292. 3 persons were injured in a road traffic accident just before midday today. 41-year-old Georgina Moro, a resident of San Ignacio Town and employee of Beacol, reported that she was traveling from San Ignacio to Belmopan in the company's Ford Explorer. And upon reaching Camalota Village, she saw a green Saturn car parked on the right-hand side of the highway. She said upon reaching the car, the driver of the car suddenly pulled onto the highway in front of her. Mora said she tried to avoid hitting the car but still ended up colliding into the front passenger side of the car. Both vehicles ended up on the other side of the highway. Mora was rushed to the Western Regional Hospital and complained of serious pain to her chest and both hands. She was admitted to ward in a stable condition. The driver of the car, 38-year-old Alvin Martinez, suffered a broken left foot, abrasions to the face and left hand. He was transferred to the KHMH while the passenger in the car, 23-year-old Stacy DePaz, received injuries to both feet and abrasions to her elbow. She was treated and released. Coming up after the break, villagers meet with officials to discuss delay in Progressa Road rehabilitation. Several persons detained in connection with death of elderly man in Crooked Tree Village, and the Garifuna Collective releases new album. The evening news will continue after these messages.
Digicel 4G is here. And by here, we mean countrywide. That's right. Experience Digicel 4G everywhere you are. Visit an office or www.digicel.bz to sign up today.
Digicel. Make life easy.
Big shots.
great vision, greater action. By youths, for youths, building our nation.
The show that is not afraid to tackle the issues that you care about. The show that is inspired and created by youth for youth. The show that gives you what you've been asking for. The show that gives you a voice.
Big Chats.
Yes, Belize, the Belize Family Life Association's youth advocacy movement is back with the #1 rated teen show on the airwaves, Big Chats, at 3 p.m. on Love TV and More FM. Now with more surprises, more segments, more giveaways, and more burning issues. Tune in and log on to Big Chats.
Coming to you live, bringing you facts. Youths on the movement, call it Big Chats.
Intelligent Solutions is the only information technology company in Belize that offers a full range of IT services to meet all IT needs, including hardware procurement. Shopping for your computer needs has never been easier. We commit to finding the best value for our clients. We offer a wide range of computer services, including web services, graphic design, networking, PC and point-of-sale support, and software development. We provide services to anyone regardless of how big or small the task may seem, from a simple virus cleaning to software and website development, and wireless wide area networks. Individuals, companies, and educational facilities are welcomed. If you are in Belize City and are in need of PC services and are unable to come to us, don't worry. Give us a call and we'll come to you at no extra charge. We stand by our commitment to beat our competitors' prices every time. Give us a call at 223-3203, 203-1010, or 203-1011, and we'll come to you. You can also visit us on the web at intelligentsolutions.bz. Intelligent Solutions. Practical, innovative, intelligent solutions.
The digital revolution has finally arrived in Belize. Imagine Central Cablevision's Debo will bring real interactive high-definition and digital TV into your home. Whether you have an older TV or a high-definition TV, you can now enjoy better features than satellite TV. Debo's interactive remote control allows you to scroll quickly through the channel list or view a detailed program information guide that lists programming up to 7 days in advance. You can also pause or record live TV without missing a second. In addition, Debo allows you to set reminders for your favorite shows and play games while waiting for your program to begin. Debo is that easy, and Debo is that good. Get your Debo from the Central Cablevision office near you and be your own digital boss. Get free installation with the purchase of every Debo. Central Cablevision, leading the digital revolution.
Welcome back to Love TV's Evening News. Approximately 100 residents of Progressive Village and Little Belize gathered yesterday afternoon at the Progressive Park to hear from representatives of the Ministry of Works about the progress of the road that connects Progresso to Orange Walk Town. Reporter Arturo Canton and cameraman William Usher were at the meeting.
The first phase of construction of the road should have been completed by May this year, but that did not happen. There were rumors last week that some frustrated residents of Progresso were planning to block the same road in order to get the situation of the road addressed. While that did not occur, it prompted high-ranking officials from the Ministry of Works to personally meet with the residents of the area. CEO in the Ministry of Works, Errol Gentle, told residents that funding for the road construction had not been diverted like it had been rumored, but that he is certainly not satisfied with the work done on the road.
I am certainly not satisfied, certainly not.
Now, how soon do we see that this is going to be completed, or when can we see the road starting again to be refurbished or resurfaced?
We have asked the contractor, the joint venture, to send us a revised work plan. We have received that work plan. We are reviewing the work plan, and then we are getting back to the contractor, and the work plan tells us what he plans to do, the different phases, the equipment, and a timeline. And we should be getting back to him shortly. But in my initial remarks, I mentioned that some monies have been given to the contractor. The contractor has asked for some pre-financing, not refinancing, pre-financing. It's like an advance on his contract. And I was assured by the person from the EU who is in country today that within the next 10 working days, that money should be reaching the contractor. Once the contractor receives that money, it is confirmed, then we will be holding the contractor to task to ensure that the contractor goes by that work plan and accelerate the works.
Progreso resident Wilfredo Magana voiced his concern to the Ministry of Works representative present, saying that like many other residents, he's not convinced with what they had to say.
We have been waiting and suffering for a long time, and we want to see some actions. And with the actions of today, I can't fully say that I'm convinced that we will be able to get a road. But the thing is that they are promising the community today that there has been some kind of renegotiation with the same company that we have seen fail the York Creek, Orange Walk, York Creek, and San Lazaro Road. And that we saw the company here being very inefficient with machines that are not working. Subcontract Mexican company never paid them and this kind of thing. They come back here and they're saying that the same company will be doing the contract work. So it put questions in our head. And they're saying we must believe, and we want to believe, but we are also suffering too at the same time. And this is what we're asking them.
While residents are not confident of the contractor, Gentle said the Ministry of Work is.
As I mentioned earlier, first of all, there was a bidding process. The contractor won the bid. The contractor satisfied all the criteria. And we believe that the contractor can build the road. We have to be fair to the contractor. Some of the delays were not the contractor's fault. Yes, there were delays that the contractor could have avoided, but all the delays were not the contractor's fault. Because from the design of the road to the signing of the contract was at like 5 years. So we had to do a redesign. That in itself took considerable time for us to do the redesign, which had financial implications. Go back to the EU, get the approval, and then come back to the contractor.
Gentle did recognize that the Ministry of Works could have been more vigilant of the work the contractor was doing on the road and hopes that when the work restarts, they can be more attentive. Some residents raised concerns about the standards of work planned for the road, saying that in some areas the drains were too deep without safety measures in place.
We know that there were concerns about the design and the construction of the road. The technical people in my ministry, and I think the lady, Ms. Linda, agreed, the reason for the drainage, it is a part of the design to make the road more durable so that the water does not seep under the road surface and destroy the road. However, when the road is completed, we will be putting in some safety features.
The construction of the road is being done jointly by Bella Vista Construction Limited and Lopez Construction Limited. Financing is being done by the European Union under the accompanying measures of the sugar industry. The work is for approximately 15 miles of dirt road that connects Orange Walk Town and Progreso Village, passing through San Esteban Village.
In some areas, the road will be elevated, but the road will be finally paved. That's the finished product. Is the villagers will have a 2-lane paved road built to international standard.
Gentle said that right after the contractors receive an advance of the money for the project, they will push for work to start on the road again. Reporting for Love News from Orange Walk, I'm Arturo Cantun.
The Ministry of Works has started work on 2 ferries that connect Corozal town to the communities of Shanush, Copper Bank, Progreso, Little Belize, and Sartaneja. There are allegations that no official notice was given to the public and that the ministry has not put in place measures of how to keep the flow of traffic in the area. Love News spoke with Works CEO Errol Gentle about the situation.
I am not certain if that was done without any announcement to the public, because usually a month before we do any work, it is announced. So if there was no announcement, I would have to talk to my officer in charge in Corozal. But you could imagine having a ferry in the river for quite some while and no maintenance is done. There's corrosion, there's in some places there might be some holes in the ferry. So for the safety of the vehicles, the safety of people, we have to ensure that we save lives. We have to, from time to time, we need to do maintenance on the ferry. We have been doing some surface maintenance, but it's time now that we actually take the ferries out of the water and address whatever problems that exist under the surface of the ferry. So that is the reason why.
When you say safety, what is it exactly that you're putting or installing or putting there on the ferry?
A simple thing, well, on the surface, if you see some of the running boards have been replaced. The approaches to both of the ferry will be fixed. The cable that holds the ferry together will be replaced, and then the actually flotation part of the ferry, that metal part that has some, in some areas we do have some holes. Those will have to, in order for us to repair them, okay, that has to be taken out. You need to cut out the rotten part and put in welding new metal sheeting onto the ferry.
And how long do you expect this to run, to last, to be the ferry out of the water, the river?
The first one took a little bit longer than we thought. We were expecting like a month and a half. It took a little bit longer. And the second ferry we will be working on is the bigger ferry. So certainly it will take much longer, but the concerns of the villagers were that the ferry would be taken out and then there would be no consideration for movement of passengers and movement of vehicles. So we will be looking into that as well and do whatever is possible to ensure that there still be free flow of traffic.
Users of the ferry tell Love News that both ferries were in terrible condition as they have holes on the surface. Some tell us that both people and vehicles have fallen in the crevices on the ferry, causing people to get hurt. Last night we told you about a murder that had occurred in Crooked Tree Village in the Belize district. The victim, identified as 76-year-old New Zealand national Barry Blaney, was found at around midday yesterday by a resident of the village, Fiona Building. Building told Love News that after noticing that Blaney had skipped his daily routines, she went to check up on him at his house. There she observed that Blaney was motionless, lying face down with his hands and feet bound and his head covered with a sheet. Immediately, Building says that she alerted a close friend and neighbor to Blaney, Rudolph Crawford, who then called the authorities. Residents of the village believe that Blaney was killed sometime Tuesday night when the rain poured down. Police have yet to release any details of this latest homicide, but villagers believe that Blaney was robbed before he was killed. Blaney had moved into the village some 10 years ago and lived mostly by himself after the death of his wife. Villagers are still baffled as to why anyone would want to harm Blaney, especially since he is described as a humble individual who kept to himself. Love News understands that several persons have been detained for questioning. 45-year-old Kim Taylor, a security guard who resides on Partridge Street in Belize City, was charged with altering a firearm when he appeared today before Magistrate Clive Lino. Taylor pled not guilty to the charge. Magistrate Lino explained to him that the court cannot offer him bail because the offense falls under the Firearm Act. Taylor was remanded into custody until October 1. The alleged offense occurred on March 8. According to the allegation, Taylor, the holder of a gun license for a Glock 9mm pistol, altered the firearm by removing the barrel and replacing it with another Glock 9mm barrel. Taylor's gun license was revoked. Taylor was represented by attorney Anthony Sylvester. The Garifuna Collective has recently returned from touring the United States and Canada, but the ever hard-working group hasn't taken the time to stop and rest just yet. They are already promoting their new album, Ayo, an album dedicated to Andy Palacio and others in the group that have moved on from this world. Today, Love News spoke with tour manager Al Obando and lead vocalist and maracas player Desiree Diego about the new album.
The album was designed from the Garifuna Collective members themselves. The album, the whole philosophy with it is it sounds like a traditional group of people singing all the songs. There's no like one main singer. It's like the group paying tribute to Andy. So all the song is designed and arranged that way, that like multiple vocals and lead vocals in each song.
Ayo meaning goodbye in English, and since it's a tribute tour to Andy, bidding him farewell, it all works off the CD with Ayo. The song is saying that Belize has wept during the death of Andy. His parents are grieving, his children, and actually behind it is seeing the pain when they went to the funeral for Andy Palacio in 2008. So that's what Ayo is basically saying, and it is written in Garifuna and in English.
Beside Andy Palacio, we lost 2 more band members of the Garifuna Collective within that, from then to now. Giovanni Che, Rashi, and Justo Miranda, who were really prominent in the last album, with some songs like Miami, and Rashi was there with us all the way in terms of maracas playing. We use the maracas on tour.
Track 12 is from Justo Miranda, also bidding farewell to Andy.
Yeah, it's so sad, yeah, that he actually recorded this song before he died.
What is it that you brought back from this recent tour? What were the new things that you learned from this recent tour?
Well, you learn a lot. You actually learn more how to be disciplined and how to work along with other people. And then you also get the people to get in with what you're doing. You get them interacting with what you're doing. You get them to even speak in Garifuna. You ask them to even sing with you in Garifuna. And actually people were looking forward to that. So the reception was very good.
We learned a lot more that basically could help us in the future, what we shouldn't do, what we should do different. And so it's a big learning lesson for us, being on our own.
The album is now available in various record stores around the country. According to the Garifuna Collective, Ayo was released in North America in July, and it reached the #1 spot in the Canadian campus charts and has been featured by many national radio and print media outlets in the United States of America and Canada. The Garifuna Collective will be performing in Belize during the September celebrations, and they are scheduled to tour Europe in October, with stops in London, Berlin, Warsaw, Prague, and Paris. Willows Bank is described as the little village with a big heart. And this weekend, the little village is inviting the public for its 3rd annual Willows Bank Fire Heart Festival. The festival takes place this Saturday, starting at 10 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the evening. According to the vice chairperson of Willows Bank, Natalie Palacio, the event is filled with activities for the entire family.
Yeah, it will feature a greasy pole, a beer drinking contest, watermelon eating contest, a bicycle race, slow bicycle race, and many activities for each and every person in the family. This year the theme is corn. It's a corn-based competition. It's going to be Dukunu dinner. Basically, the competitors will have to cook a Dukunu dinner with meat of their choice and a side dish, either coleslaw, fresh veg, or potato salad, along with a dessert with corn being the main theme.
Okay, and this is done every year?
Yes, this is the 3rd year that we are celebrating this festival. Well, we're going to have a lot of interesting activities, as I've mentioned before, as well as wonderful offers from some of our sponsors, such as Smart. They'll be having the Double Up and Triple Up, as well as 2 for $5 Kubuli beer.
Palacio says that a bus is leaving Pongyard Bridge at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning en route to the festival. Money raised from the festival will be used for various other activities throughout the year. An event to highlight and celebrate East Indian culture and heritage will be held in Punta Gorda. Correspondent Paul Mahang reports.
President of East Indian Council of Belize, Gabriel Pate, is a member of the organizing committee.
The East Indian Council of Belize, the Southern Chapter, will be having an East Indian Cultural Festival on Saturday, the 17th of August at the Punta Gorda Central Park. The opening ceremonies will begin at 9 a.m. After that is completed, the festival itself will get underway and should last until about 4 in the afternoon. The festival will feature East Indian cuisine, food, East Indian music and dances, and display in East Indian history and customs and the family tree displays. The theme for this year's festival, and something I would like to emphasize, is that only through unity among our peoples can we hope to preserve and protect our culture. I would also like to use this opportunity to call upon all East Indians in Toledo and the rest of Belize, especially our young people, to make an effort to come out to the Kichi Central Park on August the 17th. This invitation also goes out to every other Belizean of whatever ethnic group to come out and join us in this celebration of East Indian culture.
Another key organizer of the event is Scarlett Palacio.
At the festival, people will be participating in dancing, and we'll have these dancers coming from villages like Forest Home and Elridgeville, and we'll also have storytelling by the elders of our communities.
Palacio also explained that the event has the active participation of East Indians from several Toledo communities, and the day's program promises to be a great cultural, family, and individual experience for all those who will attend.
The communities participating are Maffordai, Jacintoville, Elridgeville, Forest Home, Ket Landing, and Punta Gorda Town. The festival will provide the opportunity for anyone attending to enjoy our Indian foods on sale like kuhun cabbage, dal roti, sarasi, sembe, koko takari, kalalu, fish choka, eggplant choka, and chutneys, while enjoying live East Indian cultural music and dance presentations from our young people who will dress in our East Indian cultural attire. Members of the East Indian communities are encouraged to come out in their cultural attire for the festival, which promises to be exciting, educational, and cultural. This event will be promoting the traditions and practices of the East Indian people.
Members of the organizing committee and East Indian Council Toledo branch do extend a cordial invitation to inhabitants and visitors in Toledo, as well as others throughout Belize, to be at the Punta Gorda Central Park on Saturday, August 17, to join in the vibrant celebration of East Indian culture and heritage. Reporting for Love News, Paul Mahone, Punta Gorda.
This news broadcast comes to you from Love Television. Still to come, we take a look at the weather. We will be right back.
Introducing Digicel's App Store. Download unique Belizean apps, wallpapers, ringtones, and other popular apps for free. Go to www.digicel.bz to download these apps today. And remember the BTL Directory app, making it easier for you to search, find, dial. Digicel App Store, bringing your phone to life.
Digicel, make life easy.
At Belize Natural Energy, our vision is to be a leader in the oil and gas industry by creating opportunities for our employees to mine their potential within. When the company commenced drilling operations in 2005, the oil and gas industry did not exist in Belize. Labor had to be imported. The owners of B&E decided to make it a Belizean company, a place where Belizeans with the right attitude could find a home. Today we have 204 employees, 96% of whom are Belizean. We are led by a Belizean CEO, and 50% of our management team are women. This was only possible because of a deep-rooted commitment to training and educating our people. We are particularly proud of our primary education literacy program. The lack of adult education services in Belize is a huge obstacle for anyone that couldn't finish primary school. We knew we had to be a part of the solution. In 2010, we applied to the Ministry of Education essentially to start our own school. We put up flyers encouraging anyone who was interested to apply, and the conference room became our first classroom.
When I first met the students, we did a baseline study in order to find out where they were academically, and I did some tests which involve having them read words at the pre-primer, which is typically what a 5-year-old would be reading, and majority of them were unable to read those words.
I stopped go to school at age 14 because in our culture we get married like 12 or 13 years, but I didn't want to. When we start this class, I can't write really good and I can't read really good.
I was about 12 years old when I came out from school. So I never thought, that in this age I was going to be in school again. My biggest daughter was, laughing and says, "Dad, really, you're going to school?" I said, yes. She couldn't believe it, But when I started to come to school, then she realized that, yes, it's true. In some things that maybe she don't know or I don't know, because she's going to standard 3 right now, I help her, she helped me, so both we work together.
I have seen the confidence that it has built into them, where they are able to transcend what they have received into the lives of their children.
My little daughter, she's going to school now, and I help her and I encourage her to go study more, because I told her, look at me, I did go to school and I am old and I want you to continue going to school.
I'm not afraid now to open a book or write to nothing, because I think I'm good.
This initiative can be used as a template for the Ministry of Education to realize that we need to provide education to adults who have fallen through the cracks and who need to bridge the gap between primary education and secondary to complete primary education. We do not have that in our system.
As Belize's pioneer oil and gas company, our goal is always to be a leader in the industry. This past year, we invested over $500,000 in training. Because we're involved from exploration to production, from transportation and logistics to marketing and branding, our training has to cover upstream, midstream, and downstream. That's a challenge for any company, but for a company with 200 employees, it's a unique opportunity. The courses provided by international institutions have equipped BNE personnel with the latest industry best practices, technical knowledge, and skills.
As a young Belizean, it's extremely empowering to know that you're working for a company that is really there to invest in their people, right? Through training and supporting in all kind of ways. We're a very young company, and the norm would be to hire people from abroad that have the expertise, but they're willing to invest in their people to make sure that it's a Belizean-run company.
BNE is committed to ensuring that we grow the capacity of our people, whether it's through technical skills, primary education, or higher education. Our training program challenges our employees and provides them with the resources to grow. HR is not about PR. It's about helping people to grow. It's about doing what's right.
It is located in South Asia, and today India is celebrating its 67th anniversary of independence from Great Britain. And the roughly 5,000 or so Indians in Belize are no different in commemorating the accomplishment of their motherland. Love News spoke with the secretary of the Belize Hindu Temple, Dr. Kiran Vanjani, who says that normally August 15 is a holiday in India.
It's a celebration, it's a holiday from work, but then still offices are open. You have to go for a flag hoisting early in the morning, like around 8:30 in schools and in all the offices, all the organizations. They have a flag hoisting, and then we have the national anthem, and then it's followed by little snacks and all, and everybody greet each other. And then apart from that, there are messages from all the Prime Minister, President, and everybody. It's second in the world. First is China, and second is India in terms of population. And out of that population, the majority is youth. And that's why you can see more progress, because youth are more energetic and they can do more better work. And especially in the software industry, India is excelling a lot, and it's in call centers and production in different fields.
India also has a lot of poverty, poor people. The growth of those people, how do you see those people or that category of people improving, growing?
Yes, there is a group where you call that poverty still lies there even after so many years of independence. It is still there because of the large population. You can't have everything done in very little time, and then with the limited resources, which is always a limitation as well. But still it is coming along a good way. And if you will see that even in rural areas and villages, like you see, the more technology has reached, and with e-governance being there, many people are having access to like online filling form and all other activities. So it's reaching to the rural areas and bringing them upfront with technology.
Let me take you back to the days of Mahatma Gandhi, Indira Gandhi, Rajiv Gandhi. That was a generation that ruled, 3 generations that ruled in India, and now there are changes in terms of the prime minister and such. Have you grown since the Gandhi rule?
Yes. In every rule, like even whenever whatever party is ruling or whatever person is ruling, always the leader has its own influence on the country, and maybe they have different way of doing it, but then the ultimate purpose is the development of the country. So yes, I would say.
With a population of 1.5 billion people in India, one of its strongest fields is technology.
This weather report is brought to you by Insurance Corporation of Belize, ICB, making a positive difference in a changing Belize.
Moist and unstable conditions continue in wake of waves passage. The forecast is for cloudy to overcast skies, some showers and a few thunderstorms, which will continue mostly over northern and central parts of the country. Periods of light rain will occur elsewhere. The winds will blow from the southeast at 5 to 15 knots with higher gusts near showers and thunderstorms. The sea state will be choppy, but at times becoming locally rough. Operators of small crafts should exercise caution. Low temperatures for tonight are 75 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 72 degrees Fahrenheit inland, and 68 degrees Fahrenheit up in the hills. A low tide will occur at 3 minutes past 10 o'clock tonight, and this will be followed by a high tide at 4:46 tomorrow morning. The sun rises at 5:36 tomorrow morning and will set at 6:18 tomorrow evening. The outlook through to Saturday evening is for remaining generally cloudy weather, with a few showers and thunderstorms mostly inland and in the north. And that is a look at the weather, with information provided by forecaster Frank Tench Jr.
This weather report was brought to you by Insurance Corporation of Belize, ICB, making a positive difference in a changing Belize.
Those are the stories we have for you today on Love Television. Our thought conditioner today comes from Benjamin Mays. He said, and we quote, "The tragedy in life doesn't lie in not reaching your goal. The tragedy lies in having no goal to reach." End of quote. If you would like to contribute a comment or suggest a quotation for use in this segment of the news, all you have to do is write us an email. The address is news@lovetv.com.bz. Thank you for joining us. I am Renee Trujillo. Have a good evening and a good night.